Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. All right. Yes. Look, a long time ago, I started with martial arts. I had started
Wow!
getting a fascination for martial arts. One day, I can, far back as I can remember, like when I was about 5 or 6 years old, we we went to a show, well, a movie, you know, to see Bruce Lee, Chinese Connection, and Fist of Fury. So once I saw that, I got fascinated with martial arts. So then I started training with my cousin, Joe, RIP. Joe was into martial arts real heavy, self taught. He self taught himself martial arts. But he was practicing the discipline Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's style and stuff like that, you know. So me and him trained for a couple of years, and then I decided to go to a school. So I went to a White Tiger Dojo. That was Kung Fu. I learned Kung Fu there. And I learned discipline and how to not take what you learn to fight somebody, but just to use it purely for self defense, okay? Self defense. So I went to a Tiger, White Lotus, White Lotus dojo for a couple of years. And then I wanted to learn a different discipline. So I wanted to learn some like judo or something like that. So then I went to uh Tokan uh Tokan Dojo Judo, okay? That was on Devon Devon Street, you know. It was in Chicago too. So I went there, and they taught us well, but one day the sensei was talk we got to the element of surprise. So we was all in a half circle, like, and he was walking back and forth, talking to us. Look, you have to be ready. You have to be ready. And when he got to me, he punched me in the stomach, right in the bread basket, right in the bread basket. And I folded up like a suitcase. I folded up like a suitcase. And when I got up, I snapped. I snapped. And I told him, I said, look, I don't pay you this money for you to kick my, you know. I told him that. And he said, hey, calm down and stuff. I said, no, you tell me calm down. You punched me in my stomach. I want my money back. So I got my money back. I was a hothead back then. So after that, I continued to train with my cousin Joe. So I was getting better now. I was getting better, real good. So me and my cousin Joe practice and practice and practice. And then after that, then I came to Memphis. I moved to Memphis, you know. And when I got to Memphis, I was still practicing martial arts with my nephews and stuff like that, training him, getting him started, too. So I wanted to train him like Joe trained me, okay? So I was training him, and then I found out about this other martial arts class, and it was USA Mixed Martial Arts, okay? So I kept looking at it, checking it out. So then finally, I decided to go and go. So I went to it, and it was real cool. I think it was in no, it wasn't in Bolivar. It was in I think it was Germantown or something like that. So I went there for to train in jujitsu. Okay, that's what I really want to learn. Once I learned the jujitsu, I figured everything was straight because I learned kung fu and judo and then jujitsu. That's sort of like a mixed martial arts. But then there was Carlton Gracie met us down there, so it was extra good then. And he taught, see, like the White Lotus Kung Fu was Kung Fu. They taught us takedowns, pressure points, and joint locks. Okay, joint locks. So, and then the Tokan Judo uh taught 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 me throwing, grappling techniques, and groundwork. Okay, and the jujitsu class taught me to fight on the ground, work on the ground. It taught me it didn't matter my size, my stature. I didn't have to be super big to take somebody down. So they taught me a lot of takedowns and stuff like that. A lot of takedowns, working on the ground, and submissions. Submissions. They taught me a ton of submissions. And how to get out of them. So I'm telling you, man, that it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. So that's why I try to teach my nephews and stuff, you know, the same arts. Get them interested in it. One of my nephews is really, really hot and heavy into it now. So I guess it was good. But my cousin Joe, mm, that's the only thing he loved. He loved Bruce Lee and everything. He could do a lot of different styles too. He was quick too. So so when I got finally good enough to spar with him, man, that was it. That was it. Because we would spar all the time. We would always spar. But yep, it was good though. But when that sensei hit me in my stomach, that was it. That was it. I didn't never try to learn no. I always thought the ninja stuff was, kind of phony. Like. I know there's some people who learn ninjutsu that know how to fight and stuff like that, but you don't readily see that too much. So, mm. But it taught me discipline. Now, like in my jobs and stuff, sometimes people talk crazy to me and stuff like that. It don't phase me because I know I can handle myself if it happens. But mostly when people see you with that confidence, they're out of control at you, and you calm. You calm. You say, "Look, this is how we gonna do this. You can leave the building, okay? So come on, let's go." And most of the time they would leave. They would leave and don't give me no problems because of my demeanor. I don't know, man. Yeah. Well, Yeah, I did. I also took some kickboxing, a little kickboxing at first, kickboxing, and I was on the wrestling team too. So, I figure I'm well rounded in the martial arts. Uh, you know, so if we happen to go to the ground, I can handle myself, and standing up, I can handle myself. You know, so that's it. But a lot of people don't know. You know, because I don't go around bragging and stuff like that. Saying that, oh, I know karate or something like that. I know kung fu and stuff like that. I don't usually say nothing about it. Half the people that I know don't even know what I know. You know, they don't know. But all right, you guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share my videos with your friends. Share it with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. Adios. Salamat.
Salamat!
Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now, you can put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. If you put water into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow and water can crash. Be water, my friend. This is